Well done, class. We have made it to Module 7, and we are, before we leave with our time together, we are going to look at being a reflective teacher. As we move forward, we now have this knowledge of certain theorists and ideas that we can apply to our classroom, but unless we adopt the practice of being a reflective teacher, we will not have the ability or the pattern set in place to make sure that we are hitting the mark lesson after lesson and week after week. So we are going to do two different things this week. We are going to look more into the importance of being a reflective teacher, and we're also going to wrap up that unit that we have been working on. You can see here our module objectives and our activities. Like I said, we have a little bit of reading, and inside these lecture materials there is a TEDx talk for us to view. We are also going to submit our last assignment, and we will go into that here in a little bit. We are also going to have our last discussion board, and on that discussion board you are going to share your presentation URL for our peers to look at and give us some feedback on. And then you are going to submit your final document for your unit and your final presentation, the URL that you have uploaded to YouTube. So you can hit these next buttons down here, but I prefer to navigate this way. So we can see here, there's the overview that we just looked at. Right here is our lecture materials. We have or just one reading right here, and then a video about reimagining classrooms, and it is a fantastic TEDx talk. So just some things to read about our speaker for this week. And then from there, we have our assignment 1, and in this assignment for module 7 you are specifically going to reflect on the field experience that you've had in this particular course. So as part of the requirements for our field experience for this semester, you are to compose a 2 to 3 page reflective piece on your activities in the classroom this semester. How have you spent time in the classroom, and how has this course affected that time? This reflection must be uploaded to your account there, and then also on Canvas. And of course, due Sunday by midnight. And of course, there is a rubric for you to do so, and it's 10 points. Our online discussion this week is going to be just simply you making your video URL from the video presentation that you made of your unit. You're going to upload that to YouTube, copy that URL, and post it in our discussion for this week. You are going to view your peers' videos about the unit that they have been working on all course session long, and then you're going to reflect or comment on each of your peers' presentations, giving them detailed feedback on what they did well, any questions that you may have. A lot of times a different set of eyes can lead to really good questions, ideas that you found interesting, and any suggestions you may have for them. And you are going to go ahead and put that URL up by Wednesday night, and then respond to your classmates by Sunday night. So that is our discussion for this week. And then right here, this is just a page for you guys to view about the last 2 things you need to submit. And this counts as your final. Cumulatively, there were 30 points. But what you're going to do is you are going to type up a final document. And in that document, it's going to have the unit that you posted 7 weeks ago on our intro module, our module 0. And you're going to take that unit that you have been modifying all semester, and you are going to show how you have applied all 6 weeks of learning to that unit to change it and to better it and to improve it, to make sure that you are hitting the needs of the kiddos in your class. So you are going to make sure that all of these things have been applied, and we've been working on that all the whole session long, and so that shouldn't be any additional work. But then you're going to show me the unit plan should have the following components, and this is typed: a descriptive overview statement of the unit, a list of daily topics to be covered during the unit, at least 5 sample lesson plans, a detailed description how you have addressed each topic discussed in the course throughout your unit. And so the very first page should just be a descriptive overview statement, just simply a paragraph. This unit is covering this, this grade level, this particular subject, and some of the activities we're going to do is this and that. A form of assessment is this, okay? A list of daily topics to be covered, and so then underneath that you're going to have day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5, and list each thing that you're going to cover. And then after that will be a list of the 5 sample lesson plans that you have there. And those lesson plans need to be the modified ones that you've slowly been modifying off that Google Doc all session long. And then at the end, you're going to give me a detailed description of how you have addressed each topic. That's been included up here. So it could be simply taxonomy of objectives. Okay, when we talked about Bloom, I changed lesson plan number 1 this way. I changed lesson plan 3 this way. And then you could go down to multiple intelligences. I changed lesson plan 2 and 5 in these ways. Not every lesson plan has to be changed for every single thing that we do, but we do need to see a good amount of changes showing that you understand the concepts that we have covered. And so that final document is going to be 20 points, and we will review the rubric here in a minute. And if you want to, there's links to the rubrics right here as well. And then an uploaded video through YouTube. And let's go ahead and jump over there and look at these. So here's the document portion, and that's everything that was just on the on the page that we just covered. It's worth 20 points. You're going to upload a file. This is going to be a pretty big file because it's going to be 5 lesson plans, a cover page, and an ending page. And you can see some things to remember when we are looking at this. We have that grammar, punctuation, usage, all of that's really strong, showing that you are a grad student. Our word choice is showing that you have that scholarly academic language that you could run nicely with professionals in our field using Bloom's taxonomy and all the other things that we have discussed. Can you, with confidence, lay out that academic language? Have you answered all the essential questions? Think of the essential questions as each module that we have covered. Modules 1 through 6. Have you applied all of those to the unit? Organization, it's easy to read. I can quickly go through your unit and understand exactly what is what's going on. The lesson plans are well written. Remember, the lesson plans don't have to be original, but if they were not well written to begin with by someone else, go ahead and modify them so I could easily step into your classroom and teach them. And then unique delivery. Have you really thought about each one of these concepts that we've talked about over the past 6 weeks and uniquely applied them to your lesson plans? And that totals 20 points. And then last but not least is your final unit presentation. Now you can do this in a couple different ways. One of them could just be doing a keynote or a PowerPoint and recording that as a video. You could do a video of yourself talking. I do not care in the least. You decide what works best for your personality type, the message that you want to convey, and the technology that you have available to you. But what you're basically going to do is tell us everything that unit had in it, but it just lets us understand it in about a 5-minute video, no more than 5 minutes. What was the overview statement of your unit? And that's that very first paragraph I was talking about. Each day, what are the highlights that you're going to be addressing? and what are you doing in those lesson plans, and then a detailed description of how you change certain things throughout your unit. Again, this is just a highlight. This is a commercial of your unit, so all of us does not have to go in and read it. I just have the privilege of doing that, but this will allow us to kind of dive in. It might allow some of your peers to say, hey, I really like his or her unit, and someone might email you and say, hey, can I have a copy of that because it was done so well. Again, 10 points, and you can see your rubric for that. Quality of information, was it on topic? The appropriateness and effectiveness of the media quality. The media was highly relevant to the topic. It clearly supported the project content. Is the video displaying the information that it needs to? The video script is well written, it's organized, I can tell that you've prepared for it and not just kind of wung the video. Your oral presentation, you're speaking clearly, the volume on the video is just the right volume, and then of course the amount of information that you've given, about 5 minutes. You can go over a minute or two or under about a minute, but just make sure that we can tell that you've taken time and you have professionally addressed this topic. So that is it. If we look at the very end, you can see a little well done message from me and the 4 things that you need to turn in. That reading reflection that talks about your field experience reflection, the discussion with your peers about your URL, your final document of the unit, and then the final presentation of the unit. When you do submit that, that is just we'll have a little spot for your URL off of YouTube. Well done, guys. I'm proud of you all, and I'm excited to read your final units.